Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is Saturday, May 21st, 2011. And if some of the false prophets are correct, this will be my last edition of this broadcast because we won't all be here tomorrow. Of course, those are false prophets. They will be shown to be false prophets. No one knows the day and hour of Jesus' final return except the Father. That's what Jesus himself said. So, I know some of you are interested in that kind of thing. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. But we are talking about judgment today, interesting enough. We're in Matthew chapter 21, verse 18. In the morning, as he was returning to the city, he became hungry. And seeing a fig tree by the wayside, he went to it and found nothing on it but only leaves. And he said to it, "May no fruit ever come from you again." And the fig tree withered at once. When the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, "How did the fig tree wither at once?" And Jesus answered them, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, 'Be taken up and thrown into the sea,' it will happen, and whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." Alright, well, you got a couple of things going here and a couple of lessons to learn. Jesus is hungry. He's wanting some figs. He sees a fig tree. Ooh, that looks good. If you ever had figs, figs are very tasty. I enjoy figs. Dates, those kind of things, they all come from the same area there. Very good, very tasty, kind of expensive, but back then, they was right there on the tree. So he went to the tree to get figs. The problem was, the tree didn't have any figs. So Jesus curses the tree, and the tree is dead. Now, what's the application here for us? Well, Jesus expects fruit out of us. And there will come a time where we will be cursed, we will be judged by the Lord if there is not fruit. Because if we're not bearing fruit, we're not showing ourselves to be a true tree. See, we're not a true branch, a true part of the vine. If we're not bearing fruit like love, joy, peace, patience, etc. And you can see those things in Galatians chapter 5. That's called the fruit of the Spirit. Or if we're not producing other believers. You know, a fig tree is supposed to produce figs. A disciple of Jesus is supposed to produce other disciples. So, if you're not producing any fruit, which could be fruit of the Spirit or other disciples, if you're not doing things out of your relationship with God, if there's no actual evidence, that's what he's talking about here, you're in danger of being cursed. So that's the first lesson. Second lesson is, he just said it, and then the tree died, and the disciples just are amazed at the power that he had to do that. And he said, look, that's easy. Matter of fact, if you've just got, how much faith did he say? He said, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what's been done to the fig tree, but you could say to this mountain, apparently they were right next to a mountain, you could say, move from here to there, and be taken up and thrown into the sea. Now, it's a little hyperbole, alright? There's no need to move a mountain. God's got the mountains where they're supposed to be, right? It doesn't make any sense to move a mountain. And if you wanted to move a mountain bad enough, you could do it with machines over a period of time. The point is, this is the power of prayer. And I've got less than a minute to talk about the power of prayer. We neglect the greatest power in the world when we don't pray. Prayer, when you pray, listen to me, listen very carefully. Prayer, I'm going to get real close because we don't believe what I'm about to tell you. Prayer can do anything God can do. Do you understand that? Prayer can do anything God can do. Like move a mountain, or curse a fig tree, or anything else. If God wants it done, prayer is the way to get it done. So enough with the wimpy shallow, rote ritual or non-existent prayers. Let's start having powerful, faith-filled, believing prayer. Because we're calling on the God who can do anything. And therefore, prayer, combined with our faith, can do anything. Come back tomorrow.